I've been asked to explain a bit more about beat setting on a torsion clock. This Junghans is slightly different to most torsion clocks in the fact that you alter the relationship of the pin to the anchor on this, whereas on normal torsion clocks you alter the torsion spring and the fork. So for argument's sake, on a normal torsion clock, or most torsion clocks, if you want to, when you're setting the beat, I turn the pendulum until I get the tick. You've got to be careful because there's two ticks in each direction. It's the main loud tick you need to take note of. I turn the pendulum until I get the tick. There. Then I let go, let it go back the other way. If it ticks and carries on for quite a bit, then you need to alter to get it even, because you need the same amount of overswing in both directions, same as you would a normal swinging pendulum clock. It swings one way, ticks, and then you have a bit of supplementary arc before it goes back the other way. Same with this. So I turn it till I get the tick there, then I stop it, let it go back the other way, and that tells me how even the tick is. If it comes back the other way and you don't get a tick, or it ticks and carries on for quite a bit, then you need to adjust that on a normal pendulum, normal torsion clock, in the opposite direction. So if it's going clockwise, you get the tick and then it carries on, or you don't get the tick at all. If you get the tick and it carries on, then you need to twist the saddle in the opposite direction. Conversely, if you don't get the tick, you need to turn the saddle in the same direction. I hope that makes sense. But on this, because this is very similar to a normal pendulum clock, swinging pendulum clock. If you think about when you set the beat on those, whether it's a wall clock or a mantle clock, if it's a wall clock, you tilt it left or right to get it in beat. If it's a mantle clock, you lift one side and then the other to see which way to get it in beat. Now, as with the normal pendulum clock, if for argument's sake you twist it to the left, or lift the left if it's a mantle clock and it goes into beat, then you need to adjust the relationship of the anchor and the arbor in the direction of the high side, which is the same with this. Although you're not altering the anchor on the arbor, you're altering the pin on the arbor, because the pin's on a collet. So if you need to adjust it, can I explain it the easiest way? If when it's going clockwise you get a tick and the pendulum carries on for ages, but when going anti-clockwise you get the tick and it stops immediately, or it doesn't tick at all, you need to adjust it so in the direction of the high side. In other words, the clockwise way, because that's ticked and rotated, so that's effectively the high side. So then you tilt, you gently push the anchor pin in the direction, so basically the opposite direction of what you would in a normal torsion clock. I hope that makes sense. If you think about if it's gone clockwise and it ticks and goes on for ages but doesn't the other way, then the clockwise bit is effectively the high side. So that's, you push the pin gently towards the high side. Most normal pendulum clocks, they've either got a screw on the anchor which gives it a friction fit to the arbor, or it's a friction fit anyway. But on this, the arbor is actually threaded, and the pin collet is threaded as well, so effectively it's screwed on. So you've got a bit of adjustment on the threads in relation to the pin to the arbor, if that makes sense. It's quite easy to set up. You can see it's ticking away quite happily. I use a beat amplifier because being a bit deaf, I can't hear the tick very well. But you don't need a beat amplifier. You can either listen for the tick, or you can just watch the escape wheel. If I don't use a beat amplifier, I use, watch the tooth drop. Then I watch the reflection in the plate, rather than watch the tooth itself, the anchor itself, the escape wheel itself. You'll find it easier to look at the reflection rather than the escape wheel. But this is ticking away quite happily, and you can hear the different ticks. There's a light one, then the main one. Again, the other direction, you got the little one, then you got the main one. So it's always the main tick you're concerned with, not the light tick. But I'm having to thin the torsion spring because I put a .004 on it, and it was running fast. I've only got a 1/4 inch gap between the pendulum and the base, which is about right. It doesn't give you dimensions in the book. It's a bit trial and error on this, but this is a 0045 torsion spring, and I'm gradually thinning it to get it regulated. As you can hear, it's ticking with a little bit of supplementary arc. You need a bit. There's probably 3/4 of an inch there, and about the same there. So it's in beat and it's running quite happily. I hope that made sense to everybody. Thank you very much.